Good afternoon. Peter Thomas recognizes the power of aligning priorities with values. With considerable business acumen and a vibrant entrepreneurial spirit, Thomas transformed a successful development career into a fulfilling mission to educate and connect people to the power of values-based leadership. Born in England, Thomas was raised in Canada by his mother, who instilled in him an unshakable foundation for ethics and values. He went on to spend 7 years with the Canadian Army, including a tour of duty in the Middle East and Gaza Strip in 1961. After leaving the Army, he founded Century 21 Real Estate Canada, the largest real estate network in the country. Under his leadership, the company was earning $9 billion in annual sales through 450 franchises when he sold it in 1987. Thomas carried on to found Samoth Capital Corporation, a North American real estate investment and management services in 1984, and served as chairman and CEO until 2001. Among his other ventures, he developed the Four Seasons Resort and Hotel in Scottsdale, Arizona in 2000, through his U.S. real estate company, Thomas Pride International. It was the same year Thomas lost his only son, Todd Thomas. He shifted gears professionally and focused his energy on projects that would celebrate his son's life and helping others live a values-based life. In 2000, he founded the Todd Thomas Foundation to raise awareness around mental health issues and support the search for effective treatment. In 2002, he founded Life Pilot, a not-for-profit organization that provides workshops to empower and teach people to live their lives in alignment with their values. To date, Life Pilot has more than 5,000 graduates all over the world, ranging from senior business executives and students to families and prison inmates. The vision kept growing, and in 2006, Thomas worked with Royal Roads University to create the Todd Thomas Institute for Values-Based Leadership on campus. The center was established to provide research in the field of values-based leadership and has evolved to become the Institute for Values-Based Leadership in 2011. For his outstanding commitment to values, ethics, entrepreneurship, and the quality of life, Royal Roads University is pleased to present Peter Thomas for the honorary degree, Doctor of Laws.
Mr. Peter Thomas, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Royal Roads University Act, in accordance with the recommendations of the Board of Governors of Royal Roads University, I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, with all the rights, privileges, and honor here and elsewhere thereto appertaining. Dr. Thomas will now be hooded by Dr. Stephen Grundy, Vice President Academic and Provost. President Alan Cahoon will now present Dr. Thomas with his degree. It is now with pleasure that I now call on Dr. Thomas to deliver the convocation address.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Wow, I'm humbled. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Board of Governors of Royal Roads University. Dr. Cahoon, thank you, sir. I am truly humbled. I want to thank some of the angels that carried me through my lifetime, who have looked after me on their shifts through various stages. I want to thank a 50-year companion of life, Donna Thomas. I want to thank Rita Thomas, my loving wife. I want to thank my darling daughter, Leanne Thomas. There's just so many other angels that I have to thank, and I think they all know who they are. And the archangel I want to thank is, I'm accepting this honor on behalf of my son, Todd, who lost his life to mental health back in February 1st of 2000, and probably opened up the biggest area of learning that I have had up to that point in time. I also want to thank all the grads here today, and could they wave their hands so I can see where they are? Grads? Okay, there you are. Okay, grads. To you, I want to congratulate you for the sacrifice that you had to put up for all that time that you have put in to get your degrees. And you're going out in a world today that's challenging and is going to need all of the brilliance that you have to resolve all of the issues that are out there, just like your people before you have resolved the issues since time's begun. I want you all to go out there and be successful. And somebody once said to me, how they see success. And success to me is only one thing. It's the attainment of a predetermined goal. If you set your mind and say you're going to do something, you're going to be a mom and you're going to have some kids, and you're a mom and you have some kids, you're fantastically successful. But if you set your goal to do something, you should seek that goal and you will find success. Back in, I guess it was I was about 33 years old. I had the good fortune to go to a meeting where I sat down and I was asked what my values were. I hadn't been asked that before. To all you grads, I want to ask you right now, each one of you, what are your values? And when you understand those values, you ensure that the rest of your life you live in alignment with your values, and everything that comes into your life is aligned with your values. And it's critically important at this stage to achieve success to know what your values are. And the Values-Based Institute at Royal Roads University, in fact, gives a certificate that you can learn what it takes to understand what your values are. A few other years ago, I've always been really interested to know what success is and why some people are successful, they attain their goals, and other people don't. So back in the Century 21 days, we had about 9,000 people. And there's an 80-20 rule in business. They say that 80% of your results come from 20% of your people. And that's true in a lot of measures in life. Remember that. So we took the 20% that were successful, and I grilled them down, and we took a model of a few of those people to understand what components they had that made them successful. We found that there was a lot of people had, honesty, hard work, the usual things that it takes. But we found that the really super successful people had three attributes that stood out. And once you recognize what those three attributes are, if you ensure that you have them, work towards them, I can guarantee you success. And the first one is attitude. What is your attitude? What kind of a day it is up to you. So critical part of success is attitude. The next part is motivation. To be motivated, to get up in the morning motivated to do what you want. You should never do anything that you're not motivated to do. And the last thing is commitment. Of all the things you need, probably the critical part is commitment. To have the ability that if you say you're going to do something, that you do it. And don't make any commitments that you can't see yourself finishing. And that goes from losing 10 pounds to getting your degree to traveling the world to whatever it is. Once you make a commitment to do something, you do it. So you've got your values, you set your goals, and you make your commitments. And one last little bit is, I was watching TV a few years ago, and there was a Katie Couric show. She used to be a television reporter. And she was interviewing a lady who was about 24 years old who had terminal cancer, and she had survived in a sort of a one-year circle. And she went through the entire process, and there she was. And Katie Couric asked her, she said, you know, going through a traumatic event like that, where you were told you're going to die and you're 24 years old, how did it change you? What will you do now that'll be different? And the lady answered her, and she said, passion. She said, I will never do anything in my life anymore that I can't feel or be passionate about. And when you go out into the world, my biggest advice to you is ensure that you have passion for what you're doing and get aligned with that passion. It's a saying by James J. Hill, the president of the Great Northern Railway. He said, make no small plans, for they have no magic to stir men's souls. Good luck, grads. Thank you very much.